Okay, here we go. So this is my level 91 single player Zealer. All this gear is self-found by me. I use a third-party Xfer software to transfer items between characters. The one flaw of this game is that there is no shared stash. Other than that, it's a great game which I continue to play. And so I'm just going to go over the gear and some tips for playing single player Diablo 2. So the gear, so first of all, skills. So standard fanaticism Zealer. This was actually my first character on single player. When I started, I was a Holy Freeze Zealer. Max Holy Freeze, Max Resist Cold, Zeal, Holy Shield, rest into Sacrifice or Defiance. I switched only later on. Holy Freeze Zealer is really good. It'll get you through the game, but you can never quite get to the fastest IES breakpoint, so it does limit you on damage. Alright, so let's go over the gear. First of all, we'll start with the gloves. Laying of hands, pretty obvious choice. Somewhat controversial in this case, although I do use the fire res and the damage to demons. Because of the fanaticism and the fact I'm using a phase blade, Azarath, I don't use the IES, except I believe in cases when I'm under Decrepify or Holy Freeze Aura. In that case, I think it might actually keep me at the max frames. So that's very useful. Other things to consider, IES CB crafted gloves. Anything else? Yeah, that's about it. 2 Raven Frosts. I have no mana steal on this character, but because Zeal is only 2 mana, by the time you've gotten 5 hits in, your natural regen should have taken care of that. So you pretty much don't need any mana steal. If you run into a mana burn, pop a mana potion, and that's it. Other than that, it's too good to ignore. Cold damage, huge attack rating, dex, mana, cannot be frozen, cold absorb, not really a big issue. High Lord's Wrath, another obvious one. Found this off of Nightmare Neolithic, actually. That was a very lucky find. Boots, Gores, these are perfect upped, not bad. Dungos, faster hit recovery, huge life, replenish life, and 15 damage reduction. Alright, so let's get to the good stuff. Crown of Ages. Obviously, one of the best helms in the game. Unfortunately, this one is only 1 socket. Stuck a 40 AD jewel in there. Does have perfect damage reduction, which is nice. And, 20 all res, 30 FHR, 1 to all skills, great defense. It's basically an unbelievable helm. Failing that, Gaulims is probably the best helm for this build. In fact, honestly, Gaulims might even be a better helm. The Crushing Blow, the Deadly Strike. In this one I have little max damage all res jewel. The Strength. Another thing that's bad about Crown of Ages is a huge strength requirement. This is a relatively low strength requirement, and it'll get you up to where you need to be for your shield. So it might also be a better choice, but Crown of Ages is a little more defensive, and you will really never die once you put this thing on. Plus, it's awesome, so I'm just going to use it. Chains of Honor. Probably the best armor in the game. Rivaled only by Enigma, but the thing is, Chains of Honor is more versatile than Enigma, I would say. you know, 2 all skills, damage to demons and undead, lifesteal on a hit. Pretty hard to get lifesteal on a hit from an armor. 20 strength, replenish life, all resistance 65. Unbelievable. Damage reduce. And magic find. Why not, right? So altogether I've got 38 damage reduction on this guy, which is pretty good. Shield, exile. A lot of people might say Ahaz is better, and they've got a really good argument. Ahaz, obviously, great shield skills, resistance stats, even attack rating. It's kind of unbelievable. I should probably up this one. It's got pretty close to perfect defense. The reason I use exile is really just, first of all, the life tap on striking. It could almost have no other stat, and that one alone would make it worth it. It's kind of unbelievable. I mean, you're attacking so fast, 5 hits, 1 zeal and a half, and you'll have casted life tap. And as soon as you cast life tap, you basically cannot die. Defiance Aura, I got a great roll on this. 16 Defiance, 254 ED, pretty near perfect. So the defense is just like off the chain. Freezes target. It's pretty good defensively. Replenish life. I think altogether I have, what's that, 18, 25 replenish life, which adds up. All resistance 27, a little low on this shield, but it's one of the very few ethereal, non-superior shields I've found. So perhaps the most controversial gear choice on the character, Azarath Baseblade. The thing that's great about it is it's basically one-stop shopping for physical immunes. The Sanctuary Aura breaks the physical immunes on all undead, which means ghosts and any random elites, like Black Souls, for instance. And so you do huge damage to undead monsters, and you break their physical immunities if they're physical immune. And I believe some of the most annoying physical immunes are undead, so this basically cuts out about half of all physical immunes right there. Then you go a little down, you get to about 1,500 to 1,000 elemental damage, half of it being magic damage, which very few monsters have immunities to. You combine that with nearly 100 from Ravenfrost, random charms, probably have about 1,200 elemental damage on the character. Pretty good. Also, other than that, attack speed, ridiculous. 1 to all skills, always good. Plus skills is kind of underrated on melee builds. But if you think about it, you know, defense, attack rating, damage, it's really good to have some all skills on every character, melee included. Although it's not quite as necessary as it is for a caster. And 6 all attributes, you know, why not? It's pretty good. So that covers the gear. Let's go to my Merc. Got an upped F Hon Sudan on this guy. The reason I have this as opposed to a, you know, the Thresher that has Decrepify on hit. This basically to make up for my lack of Crushing Blow on my character. That's kind of the bad part of using Azarath and Crown of Ages. Your Crushing Blow takes a hit. I was for a long time, I do also have Storm Lash, and I was for a long time using Heaven's Light. But to deal with physical immunes, this was the best answer I had. So other than that, F Gladiator's Bane, kind of an amazing Merc armor. Cannot be frozen, high defense, hit recovery, damage reduce, which are kind of an underrated stat there, and poison length reduce, which is actually quite convenient. I do a lot of bail runs on this character, and so both those, especially the Cannot Be Frozen and the poison length reduce, come in handy. Andes, Round Andes, you know, obvious, increases attack speed, strength, life on hit, you know, and poison resist. So yeah, that's the Merc, and so let's get into Little gameplay here. So, Demon Limb is kind of, it's not necessary, but it's great to have on basically any melee character you can get it on. I also have a CTA here, 6-bow. And to remind you that these are, you're seeing some good rolls, but these are self-found items, actually. This is kind of my best character. Alright, so let's just see here for a moment. 14,000 attack rating, 30,000 defense, 85 res, 75 light res. Damage should go up to about 4k once my Merc's Might Aura kicks in. Let's just let the Merc go at it for a little bit. Yeah, see, it's pretty nuts, really. What's he got? 3k life. I mean, I've got 2k life. It's pretty crazy good, honestly. Alright, so let's do a little gameplay here, do a little bail run. Well, that's the other thing that's great about Azarath is the crowd control aspect. So, as you can see, it's knocking back all the undead enemies, which is actually really kind of more convenient than you might imagine it to be at first. It interrupts attacks by, especially when you're in a large group of Black Souls. Yeah, you can just see. See, it interrupts their attack. You take a lot less damage that way. If you're in the Chaos Sanctuary especially, just means the monsters can't pile up on you the way they might otherwise. And also if you're doing, say, a Pindle run, there will be times when they charge at you, but the knockback procs right in the middle of the charge, and you don't get hit. So it's pretty dope. Yeah. Somehow my Merc's Might Aura has not turned on. Oh, there you go. Yeah, 4k damage. Merc has 6k damage. Oh, kind of a lot of elites here. Alright. Yeah, you don't mana burn, don't care. Yeah, I only have 10 mana or so, and I could sustain myself on that basically infinitely. It won't go down. Yeah, you can see I have amp damage on me right now. I'm taking really no damage that I'm not healing up right away. Let me get that. Yeah, keep remembering the BO. Doesn't last very long. Also, the reason I keep a Haas on my Switch is because if I didn't have it here, first of all, it's nice for Holy Shield, but also if I tried to put a 1+1 skill shield, then I would lose the strength required for my Crown of Ages, which itself has 1+1 skill, so I figured just put all my buffs together on one side there. It's a little convenient. Look at that. It's kind of amazing. One hit heals you to full life. It's really, life tap is actually, I guess it's worth it because you know, it takes a lot to get the runes and find the shield and whatnot, but man, it's pretty overpowered, honestly. I think even with the Decrepify, I'm hitting at max frames. Yeah, so the only minions that give this character trouble are basically non-undead physical immunes that have significant life. And it's not, but it's still very doable on this character. So I think overall, Azarath is still the best choice. Because barring that, I'm not sure what I would do. Oh, see, this is just a classic example. All right, you'll see what this is like. All right, you see how I get this guy down. Clearly, it takes a long time. But to do better than this, I guess it's a pretty good argument for putting Decrepify Thresher on my Merc. Other than that, I can use switch to put a Lacerator on Switch, but I don't like to do that. I don't really like to have alternate gear setups, especially when I've got a buff on Switch. And so it's really not so bad. Alright, let's see. See how fast we do Bail here. See, I put on my Crushing Blow on my Merc, but my Merc is distracted by all these appendages. Oh my god, come on. A little unreliable. But this is why you put the Gladiator's Bane on, because otherwise he would be frozen by those little, you know, I don't know what you call that move exactly. Those little cold triangles Bale puts out, and he barely ever makes it back before Bale sets him off on a new one. So cannot be frozen. He'll get back and actually do damage to Bale once in a while, which is nice. What else? I used to put this on my Merc for a bit. When I do, his defense is really pretty nuts. What is it, 20k or something? And it's kind of a close call. This has great faster hit recovery and some all-res, but overall I like the Gladiator's Bane. Yeah, Stormlash. I don't really like Stormlash that much. I don't know. I guess I don't like maces. But yeah, what else? Charms, basic attack rate, max damage. Yeah, pretty decent charms on this guy. So yeah, that's my single player Zealer. Probably gonna make some more videos just to show my other single player characters. For a long time, this build, like I said, Holy Freeze build. I had Galleon's Helm, Haws on Switch before that. I had a Sanctuary before that. I had a Rhyme. I used Goblin Toes. The belt, I think, was maybe just a String of Ears. Wow. What was my armor? For a long time, I think the armor was, yeah, Duress. Duress is a good armor. Kingslayer I had is a great weapon. Pretty doable with runes you find from Forge and elsewhere. Malum, Gullfowl, I believe. And yeah, laying of hands. Like I said, I had the High Lord, so I was a lucky find early on. But yeah, alright. That'll be it for this video, I suppose. Alright, see you later.